My fiancée's secret lover sent a message. She has no idea we spent the weekend together. I replied. Too bad. I just cancelled the wedding, sold her ring, and took back my apartment. Her name lit up my phone, but I just blocked the number. I'm not sure how to even start this. I've been sitting here staring at the screen for an hour. But I guess the best way is just to tell it like it happened. My name's Danny. I'm 34. I work full-time for the school district here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, doing maintenance, fixing broken lockers, replacing lights, snow removal and winter basic stuff. Not exciting, but it pays the bills and it's steady. I thought I had a good life. A normal life. A fiancé I loved. A wedding on the way. We even had a little guest list binder sitting on our kitchen counter. Her name was Marissa. She worked as a dental assistant at a small clinic on 31st. I met her through a guy I played darts with. His girlfriend knew Marissa from a gym class. He introduced us at a backyard cookout. She was talkative, funny, pretty, and fast with compliments. I liked her right away. We hit it off. Started dating. Things moved fast. After about 8 months, she moved in with me. I had a 2-bedroom apartment just south of downtown, clean, quiet, decent neighbors. She brought her stuff in slowly, first a few drawers, then her makeup took over the bathroom, and soon the second bedroom was full of her old boxes. I didn't mind. It felt good. Like a future. Around the 1-year mark, I proposed. I saved up for months to get her a decent ring. Took extra hours. Didn't go out. I bought a $5,800 ring, put it in one of those little velvet boxes, and asked her in our living room on a Friday night, while we were watching a dumb reality show. She cried. Hugged me. Said yes. Told me I was the best man she'd ever known. I believed her. But there were things that didn't sit right. Little things. The way she never let her phone screen show when it lit up. How she always kept it on silent. The way she laughed off late texts with, "Oh, it's just Amber," or, "It's work drama, nothing interesting." I asked her about it a couple times. She made me feel guilty. Said I was being paranoid. That I should trust her. So I dropped it. I told myself she wouldn't do that to me. We were planning a life. A wedding. A family. The weekend that everything fell apart started like any other. She told me on Wednesday that her mom in Muskogee had a minor surgery, and that she needed to go stay with her for a couple days. I asked if she wanted me to drive her. She smiled, said no, that it would just be her and her mom. Girl time. And besides, you'll just be bored. I didn't argue. I trusted her. I gave her gas money. Told her to give her mom my love. She left Friday morning. Said she'd be back Sunday night. We texted a bit during the day. Not much. She said her mom was resting and she couldn't talk much. That night, nothing. No call. No good night. Saturday. Just one text. Super tired. Mom's meds making her loopy. Talk soon. I didn't think much of it. Just assumed she was busy. Sunday night rolled around. I was watching a game, half asleep on the couch. My phone buzzed. It was a Facebook message. From a guy named Sean. Never heard of him. The message just said, "She has no idea we spent the weekend together. Thought you should know." I froze. Stared at it. Read it again. And again. I clicked his profile. Guy in his 30s. Lives in Oklahoma City. A few gym photos, some pics with a dog. No mutual friends. No clear link to her. I didn't reply. Then he messaged again. "She told me you guys were done. Said she moved out months ago. Didn't know you were still together. Didn't know about the wedding until I saw your FB posts." That's when the cold feeling hit me. Deep in my chest. Like everything inside me dropped to the floor. I just sat there. Couldn't move. I didn't respond to him. I just closed the app and walked into the bedroom. The ring she usually wore was sitting on her nightstand. She didn't even take it with her. I stared at it for a long time. Then I grabbed it, put it in my pocket, and went into the kitchen. I pulled out our wedding binder. It had tabs, venues, catering, dress notes, seating charts. I tore it all up, page by page. Shoved the pieces into a trash bag. I didn't say a word. The next morning, I took the ring down to a local jeweler. Guy named Greg, knew him from church. I didn't even explain. I just said, "Can you buy this?" He looked at it, then at me. "You okay?" I shook my head. "Not really." He gave me $3,000 cash. Said it was a good ring. I nodded, walked out. Then I started canceling everything. The venue. The DJ. The catering. All of it. Some deposits were gone. Didn't care. I just wanted it erased. That night, I called my landlord. Told him I wanted her gone. The apartment was under my name. Always had been. No lease issues. He said no problem. Just put it in writing and give her 30 days. I said, "What if she's not coming back?" He said, "Then you're good." I spent the rest of that day boxing up all her stuff. Clothes, makeup, shoes, hair tools, her stupid pineapple lamp, her mugs with quotes on them. All of it went into boxes and I stacked them in the garage. I even folded her towels. The next night, around 7, she finally texted. "Hey babe, I'm back. Missed you like crazy. Can't wait to see you." I didn't reply. 10 minutes later, a call. Her name lit up my screen. I let it ring out. Then I blocked the number. I heard her car pull up the next day. Heard the door slam. She started banging on the front door, yelling my name. I didn't answer. I just sat on the couch. She tried calling from another number. Blocked that too. She kept pounding. Then the noise stopped. A few minutes later, I heard her open the garage door and saw her through the window, staring at the boxes. She screamed. Like full-on screamed. I could hear it through the walls. She started crying. I watched her through the peephole. She looked like she was going to collapse. But I didn't open the door. Not once. Later that night, I finally replied to Sean's message. Just said, "Too bad I just canceled the wedding, sold her ring, and took back my apartment." That was it. No more texts from him. No calls. Nothing. I haven't heard from her since either. It took about a week before things started to get weird. After the garage box meltdown, she was quiet for a few days. No knocks, no calls from new numbers. I thought maybe she got the message. Maybe she left town, maybe she stayed with her mom. I didn't care. I was sleeping better, eating again. I felt like I was starting to move on. Then, out of nowhere, my boss pulled me into his office. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah, why?" He leaned back in his chair. "Got a call from someone. Said you were mentally unstable. Said you'd been acting out. Mentioned you might be a danger to yourself or others." I froze. "What?" I had to ask. I don't believe it, but I have to follow up when stuff like that comes in. I told him everything. The cheating, the wedding, the breakup, everything. He believed me. Said he figured it was something personal. Told me to watch my back. I walked out of there shaking. That call, there was no doubt in my mind who made it. Marissa was trying to get in my head. Maybe even trying to get me fired. 2 days later, my sister called me. Said she ran into Marissa at a grocery store. She looked like hell, Danny. My sister said. Like she hadn't slept. And she tried to talk to me. Told me you were going through something. That you needed help. I hung up and threw my phone across the room. This woman cheated on me. Lied for months. And now she's trying to rewrite the story like I'm the one who's lost it. I didn't want revenge. Not at first. Blocking her, canceling the wedding, selling the ring. Those were reactions. But this? This was her trying to destroy me from the outside in. That changed things. I decided to dig. I remembered Sean's full name from his Facebook profile. I looked him up again. His page was private now, but I found his gym. A CrossFit place in Oklahoma City. Took me 5 minutes to find his trainer on Instagram. Sent him a message asking if Sean still trained there. He said yeah, he comes in every Thursday morning. So that Thursday, I drove out there. Didn't go inside. Just waited across the street in my truck. Sure enough, around 8:30 a.m., Sean pulled up in a black Mustang. He got out, gym bag in hand, and walked in. I didn't do anything. Just watched. Later that day, I made a burner account and sent him another message. You still seeing Marissa? He replied within 10 minutes. No. Haven't seen her since that weekend. She lied to both of us. I told her I wanted nothing to do with her. I paused. Then I asked, did she tell you anything else? About me? He hesitated. She said you hit her once? A long time ago. Said you had anger issues? I didn't believe her, but she seemed serious. There it was. She wasn't just trying to ruin my job. She was setting me up as an abuser. To him. To my boss. Probably to others too. That's when I made up my mind. I wasn't going to let her wreck my name. After hearing what Sean told me, I couldn't sleep that night. I kept going over everything in my head. Every little red flag I ignored, every time she brushed off my questions or flipped it on me. But now it was bigger than betrayal. She was trying to paint me as dangerous. Violent. I've never even raised my voice to her. Not once. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, she was laying that groundwork for a long time. There was one memory that kept coming back to me. A time about a year ago when we were at a bar with some friends, and she spilled her drink on her jeans. I laughed, just joking around, and she looked at me dead serious and said, "Careful, people will think you're abusive." Everyone laughed it off, but I remember that moment. It felt off. Like she was planting a seed. Now it made sense. So I started documenting everything. Texts, receipts, voicemails, screenshots of her old messages, the Facebook messages from Sean. I even started writing a timeline. I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet, but I wanted it ready. Then the next twist hit. A letter showed up in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a typed note. You think you're safe? She's not done with you. Watch your back. No name. No signature. I reported it to the police, but they shrugged it off. Could be a prank, the officer said. Unless something else happens, not much we can do. Something else did happen. My truck's windshield got smashed a few days later while I was parked outside a grocery store. Nothing stolen. Just a clean break right down the center. I knew it was her, or someone she sent. I drove straight to her old job. The dental clinic. Walked in, calm as I could, and asked to speak to the office manager. Told her I was a former fiancée and needed to know if Marissa still worked there. She looked uncomfortable, but said no, Marissa had quit 2 weeks ago. No notice. I thanked her and walked out. So Marissa didn't even have a job anymore. That same night, I got a message from an unknown number. No name attached. I know what you did to her. You don't get to just walk away. I had had enough. I messaged Sean again. Asked him straight up if Marissa was still in contact with him. He swore up and down she wasn't, and then he said something that sent a chill down my spine. She told me you followed her around for months after she left you. That you threatened to ruin her life. She was afraid of you, man. She was building a whole fake story. She didn't just cheat. She didn't just lie. She was creating an alternate version of reality. One where I was the bad guy. And people were starting to believe her. By now, I couldn't trust anything. Not what people thought, not what would happen next. I started watching my own back, like I was some kind of criminal, just because of a woman who lied with a straight face and made people believe it. The night after Sean told me about the stalking lie, I got a call from my sister. She was scared. "Danny, someone left a note on my windshield," she said. "It just said, 'Your brother's a monster.'" That was it. Plain white paper, black marker. Now my sister was being dragged into this. I told her not to worry, to let me handle it. But she was rattled. And it made me furious. Marissa wasn't just coming after me anymore, she was reaching into the lives of people I loved. My sister barely even spoke to her outside of birthdays and holidays. There was no reason for this. That's when I went to a lawyer. I didn't think I'd need one, but I had a gut feeling this was just the beginning. The lawyer, Mr. Carlin, was an older guy. Sharp, no nonsense. I laid everything out for him: the wedding, the cheating, the apartment, the fake abuse claims, the threats, the notes. I showed him the Facebook messages, the letter, the smashed truck. He listened quietly and then said, "You need to protect yourself. Document everything. And stay ahead of her." I nodded. "What do you mean by ahead?" "She's trying to control the story. You need to control the truth. File a restraining order. Get your own side on paper first. And if she's telling people you were violent, we shut that down. Fast." So I filed. Gave the court every piece of evidence I had. The judge granted a temporary protective order while they reviewed it. It was something. A week later, Marissa finally reached out again. A handwritten letter left on my doorstep in the middle of the night. No envelope. Just folded notebook paper. "I made mistakes. I know that. But you can't take everything from me. You're not innocent either, Danny. You were cold. You made me feel alone. I needed something more and you weren't there. But if you don't stop, I will fight back. I still have friends. I still have ways." I stared at that last line for a long time. I still have ways. That wasn't an apology. That was a warning. I gave the letter to my lawyer. He added it to the file. Then, another bomb dropped. I got served. Marissa was trying to file a harassment charge, claiming I had stalked her, damaged her car, which I hadn't even seen in over a month, and harassed her friends. I stood there holding the papers, heart pounding. My hands were shaking. She was really doing it. She was trying to flip the entire story. Make it so I was the one who needed defending. The court date was set for 2 weeks later. I wasn't just in a breakup anymore. I was in a full-on war. I thought I was prepared. I thought with the restraining order, the evidence, my lawyer backing me, I was ahead of her. But I didn't count on how deep Marissa had planted her story, or how far she was willing to go to keep it alive. A few days before the hearing, I found out she'd started a private Facebook group. I wouldn't have known, she blocked me long ago, but a mutual acquaintance, Lisa, messaged me out of the blue. "I thought you should see this," she wrote, and sent me screenshots. It was a group called Healing After Abuse, My Story. The cover photo was some soft, sad quote about surviving trauma. Marissa was the one posting the most. She never used my name, but anyone who knew us would put it together. She talked about a fiancé who hid cruelty behind kindness, who isolated her, who broke things when angry. There were vague stories, like a glass being shattered, or doors slammed, or nights she cried alone while I raged in another room. All lies. All twisted. There were comments from strangers offering support. But worse, there were comments from people we both knew. A girl she worked with. A cousin of hers. Even a guy I'd gone to high school with. They were saying things like, "I always had a weird feeling about him," and "You're so strong for speaking out." I sat there staring at my screen, feeling like my lungs were filling with cement. That's when I realized, this wasn't just about revenge for her. It wasn't about heartbreak. It was about power. She needed to win the breakup. She needed the story to end with her being the victim, and me being the monster. I printed everything. Every comment. Every screenshot. My lawyer said it might help. He also said it might not. "The court isn't social media," he warned. But if she's trying to poison the well, we'll make sure they know. I tried to stay calm. Focused. Then I got a voicemail from a number I didn't recognize. Hey, this is Alex. I don't know you, but I used to date Marissa. A long time ago. Found your number through a friend. Just figured maybe you should know, she did the same thing to me. Said I hit her. Got me fired. Took out a restraining order. I lost a lot back then. I believed her, too, for a while. Thought maybe I did something wrong. But man, she's dangerous. Call me if you want to talk. I called him that same night. Alex was in his early 40s now. Lived in Broken Arrow. He sounded tired. We talked for almost an hour. He told me everything. How Marissa went cold on him overnight. How he found out she was seeing someone else behind his back. And when he tried to confront her about it, she flipped it, said he was unstable, said she was scared, told people he was obsessed. Sound familiar? She lies so well. He told me. She doesn't even blink. And once people believe her, it's over. They won't hear anything else. I asked him if he'd be willing to give a statement for my case. He didn't even hesitate. Absolutely. I wish someone had stood up for me back then. The next morning, my lawyer added Alex's affidavit to our evidence. But Marissa wasn't done. She showed up at my sister's work. Not inside, just parked across the street in her car. Stayed there for over an hour, watching. My sister called the cops. They came, but Marissa was already gone. The officer said there wasn't much they could do since she hadn't technically done anything. That was her game. Always just on the edge. Always one step before legal trouble, but never crossing the line far enough. Then, the morning of the court hearing, something happened that made everything feel like a movie. There was a knock at my door. I looked through the peephole and saw a woman I didn't recognize. She was probably mid-30s, dark hair, wearing scrubs. I opened the door, cautious. You don't know me, she said, but I work with Marissa's mom. She talks a lot. I've been hearing stories for weeks. I just thought, you should know, her mom's scared of her. Said Marissa's been spiraling. Said she might try to fake something in court. I blinked. Fake what? The woman looked down. An injury. Maybe a breakdown. I don't know. She said she's desperate. That she's losing control. My stomach turned. I thanked her, and she left quickly, looking nervous. Probably didn't want to get involved. But her words stuck in my head like nails. That day in court, I sat across from Marissa in the hallway before we went in. She wore all black. No makeup. Looked pale, fragile. Like someone in mourning. She didn't even look at me. But I saw the smile tugging at the corner of her mouth when she thought I wasn't watching. The courtroom was colder than I expected. Small. Quiet. Just the judge, a clerk, our lawyers, and a couple observers. No jury. No cameras. Just facts. Or lies. Depending on who you believed. Marissa came in slow, like she was walking on glass. She wore a soft wrap around her wrist, looked like a brace. I caught her glancing at the judge, then adjusting it so it looked more obvious. I knew then. She was going to fake it. She was going to look the part of the fragile, broken woman and play it all the way through. My lawyer leaned over and whispered, "Let her lie. We'll burn it down piece by piece." They called her up first. She spoke like a victim. Quiet, trembling voice. Said I'd pushed her once during an argument, screamed at her, made her afraid to leave. Said she stayed with me out of fear. Claimed I followed her to work. Smashed her phone once. Broke a plate near her face. None of it true. But damn if she didn't sell it. The judge didn't say much, just took notes. Listened. Watched her. Then it was my turn. My lawyer stood and walked through our timeline. Showed the messages from Sean. The screenshots. The receipts. The timeline of events. The cancellation notices from the wedding. The blocked calls. The letter on my porch. The note on my sister's car. The voicemail from Alex. Played it out loud in court. Then we submitted Alex's written statement under oath. We showed the screenshots from her Facebook group where she lied to others in detail. Then my lawyer paused, turned to the judge, and said, "And finally, Your Honor, we have testimony that Ms. Carter may have been planning to fake an injury or emotional breakdown in this very court." The judge raised an eyebrow. "You have proof?" The nurse we spoke to had refused to testify, too scared. But my lawyer simply said, "We have a sworn affidavit from a former partner of hers who experienced the exact same pattern. The lies. The setups. The false accusations. All of it." Marissa's face dropped. Just a little. Like she didn't expect us to come in that prepared. I could see it, the mask starting to crack. Then came the moment. The judge asked Marissa directly, "Do you have any hospital or medical records supporting your claims of injury or abuse?" She froze. Her lawyer spoke up. "Your Honor, my client is emotionally distressed and..." The judge held up a hand. I asked her, "Not you?" Marissa's voice was barely a whisper. "No, not yet." "Have you ever reported Mr. Denton to the police prior to this?" "No." The judge nodded and leaned back. "Court will take a 10-minute recess before ruling." She didn't look at me. Not once. When we came back in, the judge wasted no time. "This court finds no evidence of harassment or abuse by Mr. Denton. In fact, the pattern of documentation and third-party testimony supports a case of attempted defamation by the petitioner. The request for a permanent protective order is denied. Furthermore, this court is recommending referral to the district attorney's office for potential perjury review." That last line hit her like a slap. Marissa gasped. For a second, it looked like she might faint. She stood. Her lawyer tried to calm her, but she shook him off. "You can't do this," she said loud, her voice cracking. "He's the liar! He ruined everything!" The judge banged his gavel once. "Miss Carter, sit down or you'll be removed." She didn't sit. She just stared at me with this mix of hate and fear. Like she still thought she could somehow win. But she was done. Outside the courtroom, I didn't say a word to her. She stormed off with her lawyer chasing after her. That was the last time I ever saw her in person. That should have been the end. But it wasn't. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my landlord. "Hey Danny, we had a break-in at the building." My stomach dropped. "My place?" "No. The basement storage. Yours was hit. Doors broken. A bunch of boxes were opened." I rushed over. The boxes that got torn through? The ones I'd stacked with her leftover stuff, the things I never got around to throwing out. Someone was looking for something. Maybe letters. Maybe the ring receipt. Maybe something she thought would help her story. There was nothing left in them anyway. I had one final thing to do. I went home, logged into Facebook, and made one post on my page. Just one. "To those who've believed the lies, I forgive you. To those who stood by me, I'll never forget it." And to her, "I hope you get the help you need before you destroy someone else the way you tried to destroy me." I never said her name. Didn't need to. She disappeared after that. Deleted her Instagram. Left Facebook. Quit her job. I heard later she moved to Arkansas. Tried to start over. Good. I'm still here. Still living in Tulsa. Still working at the school. People look at me a little differently now, some with sympathy, some with shame. But I'm still standing. She tried to ruin me. She only made me stronger.